So if you watched the Walking Dead season finale, you know how much bullshit that was. I'm gonna go over 5 reasons why I think the finale, it just didn't live up to its expectation. So, yeah, spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it yet. Starting with reason number 5. For a 90-minute finale, you should be watching the fucking show, not a bunch of bullshit Microsoft and car commercials. Seriously, it dragged on, removing all immersion from the show. All of that to make a quick buck. They knew the Walking Dead fans would definitely be tuning in. Hell, even the fans of the comic book series that aren't really into the show were generally interested on how they would handle the most iconic scene in The Walking Dead. Seriously, we've been bombarded with the goddamn commercials. Just show the fucking show, please. Reason number 4. Grab your pitchforks, ladies and gentlemen, mainly ladies. See, for the series as a whole, we all know those fucking crazy fangirls who bitch and moan about their favorite character dying made it problematic for the series, saying shit such as, "If Daryl dies, we riot!" Dude, like, shut the fuck up. Look at Game of Thrones. They kill off characters in front of your face without even expecting it, and yet they have a lot of people still watching it. See, me personally, I respect shows that aren't afraid to do something ballsy like that. As for The Walking Dead, they fear if they kill someone off that everybody likes, they're gonna lose fans. Ridiculous, right? And, in my opinion, the show is becoming way too tame. Does anyone else think they're kind of going a lot easier on the people who die compared to previous seasons? They've been going easy on the violence, which kind of has me worried. I mean, there were a few disturbing deaths, but they're kind of pushing out on some, I think. Anyways, let's move on. Actually, listening to that recording, I just want to get this out of the way. The reason why it ties in with making the season finale so horrible is because if people are complaining, saying that they're not going to watch the show, you know, they don't want to take that risk on a finale on something that's big. So instead of making them watch it, they decide to hold off on telling you on who dies, and so they make sure you wait until the next season. So basically they make a quick buck out of you. All of this just because the fangirls don't want to see their fucking favorite character die. And as for the brutality, I'm worried about it just because in the comics, compared to the show, it's way brutal. And I'm scared that if they were to go easy on the violence, it just wouldn't be Walking Dead anymore, because in the comics, the brutality makes The Walking Dead. The fact that they kill off characters instantly in front of your face, the fact that it's so violent. And don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily the violence that makes The Walking Dead. Of course, there's the story, the characters and how they're developed. That's what makes The Walking Dead. But I think it's a crucial part. You know, the violence is a crucial part of The Walking Dead, and if they were to go PG-13 on it, it just wouldn't be The Walking Dead anymore. It would just be some bullshit AMC drama. I still don't feel I'm getting my point across, so I'm just gonna say this, keep it short and simple. The violence and the story behind it, how brutal it is to the characters, is what makes The Walking Dead. And if they were to go PG-13, at least to me, it would just fucking kill it. Getting back on track, reason number 3, it's becoming way too predictable. At least for me. Now, because of the fans out there who are afraid to see a favorite character die, the show makes these stupid moves which puts these characters in almost impossible situations where it seems like they're gonna die, but then, some fucking how, they make it out. See, while watching the finale, I knew Morgan was gonna finally kill again. I knew he would kill that savior that Carol attacked. I called that Carol was gonna be put into a situation where she's most likely gonna die. Finally, after all the commercials, before my very eyes, each scene played out almost exactly as I said it. If someone like me could start predicting how events are played out, there is a serious problem that the writers need to fix. I still love the show, don't get me wrong, and I know they're straying away from the comics, so if you guys try to argue saying that, oh, but you read the comics, they're changing it up. So the show is different from the comics, but I mean, either way, I can only guess what's about to happen. In situations where it looks like a character's gonna die and then somehow, miraculously, they survive, hell, shit, if people who aren't fans of the comics can predict that, then there is something wrong and they need to change it. We don't want to predict everything that happens in the show. So, I mean, if they were to change it and make it so they actually surprise us, at least to me, it would be so much better. Coming to reason number 2, the censorship on fucking Negan. Now I get it's a goddamn cable show. They can't be saying fuck every 2 seconds. I get that. But what makes me kind of butthurt is the fact that after watching American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, I figured they can get away with 1, maybe 2 F words. They went PG-13 with it. After hearing Negan give his amazing speech, which congratulations Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you're fucking amazing, I know which lines are going to be replaced with the F word. One, for instance, is when he was talking to Rick about being pegged. More pegged than he's ever been. I know from the get-go that's going to be replaced with the appropriate word, fucked. Other than that, they use their typical profanity, which is shit. See, after watching American Crime Story, I figured that AMC could let it slide because, they use the word on American Crime Story at least 6 times, uncensored. So, I figured, hey, if they can show a bunch of people getting decapitated, battered, torn apart, dismembered, and fucking eaten alive, they could say fuck at least once. Come on. If they allowed American Crime Story, Louis, hell, even an AMC show, Breaking Bad, they could get away with it. Shit, this is the most iconic scene, and it would have added that extra oomph to its bullshit finale. I'm guessing since they've shown a lot of commercials, they didn't want to lose any sponsors. Pathetic, because we all know they're rolling in money right now. Would have made the ending a little better, in my opinion. Now, reason number 1. The cliffhanger that makes you play #who is it? This is just despicable. Why in the sweet chocolatey Christ would they do something like that? They have built up all this tension, all this goddamn hype, and they couldn't deliver. What Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimple wanted was a cliffhanger. Sure, it works in some cases, but here, of all the places, that is such bullshit. I quote from Scott Gimple himself. The end of the story is what people saw, and when we reveal who was on the receiving end there, that's going to be the start of another story. The kickback effects from that, how people react, how the world changes, that's going to be the beginning of the story. See, I'm no goddamn director. I thought everything was going well. The point of view shot I could forgive if they just show who it was who was getting fucking bashed. If anything, what they should have done was show the beating in first person, just keep that in there. Then after you think it ends, they show everyone's reaction, and then have the camera slowly move in on the bloody aftermath. Maybe show the blood leading into the cave skull of the person who was bashed by Negan. Maybe, at the end, have Negan say some clever remark, and then cut to black. Wouldn't it make sense to show the end of a person's life Negan took, and then start the new story in the next season? Take Game of Thrones for instance. That finale, they showed the person who was killed, and forced the viewer to stare at the body for a bit, until it cut to black. I have been spoiled by endings in situations like that. I know what they're trying to do, but it could have been executed so much better. I'm pretty sure if they stick with the comics like they said they would, we all know it's gonna be a fan favorite. They're worried that they're gonna lose fans if they show who was killed. In this case, it's probably a fan favorite. In the end, they just gave us fucking blue balls. It genuinely makes me butthurt, and I know I can't be the only one out there. The only way I could see them redeeming themselves is by redoing that scene. But instead of showing it in a dumb point of view, they should show everyone witnessing the brutality that is brought upon the person. Hell, they better show the actual beating, because I know for certain that it would be so much more impactful than just showing a glimpse of a person's demise, or not showing it at all. If they decide not to show the aftermath, it would officially mean that everyone behind The Walking Dead are a bunch of pussies that are afraid to show the viewers what the comics are really like, compared to the show. All of this just so they can present an overly tamed show that makes them a quick buck. Remember, I don't hate the show. I will continue watching it. I'm just throwing my thoughts to you guys because I feel I've been cheated on what could have been the most intense, shocking, and unforgettable experience on cable television. The cast's performance were fantastic, don't get me wrong. It's just the execution of the finale and all the flaws I've mentioned on this list that make me really upset. Please, if you people behind The Walking Dead are watching, do not make the same mistake. You already fucked it up pretty bad by giving us blue balls. Do not hold back on any brutality you have in store for us, and for the love of God, don't pull a cliffhanger on a moment that literally changes The Walking Dead. Thank you, and no, I do not mean to hate on anyone. Keep up the good work, and just please, for the love of Christ, don't fuck it up again. And that was the list, so let me know below if you agree, disagree, tell me what are your thoughts. Think of me as fucking Chris Hardwick from The Talking Dead, except in this case, a loser who doesn't like to show his face. Thank you, and you guys take it easy.